It's with great pain that I speak to you about the horrific and brutal murder of not only a fellow Jew, but a colleague, a fellow Chabad rabbi, a member of the Rebbe's army, a team of rabbis, rebbitzins, and community supporters and partners. All together, we are on a mission to bring the light of God to the world, to bring peace to the world, to bring a message of hope and a message of upliftment all the time to everyone we encounter, to bring peace and tranquility within and without. And this is what Tzvi was committed to, Rabbi Tzvi Kogan, HaKohen of blessed memory. And our community is shocked and reeling. And it's a very difficult time. And this is on top of course, the over 800 of our dear soldiers, members of the IDF, who have given up their lives simply to protect their fellow brothers and sisters living in the Holy Land. And the thousands of citizens who were murdered from October 7th and on, the hostages who are still in captivity and suffering beyond what we can imagine. It's a very difficult time. You know, Rabbi Tzvi Kogan was first a member of the IDF. He actually fought as a soldier on the ground. And you know, we have two armies, the Jewish people. We have the physical army fighting the physical war. It's a very crucial war that must be fought, unfortunately. It's a war we don't want to have to ever fight. We don't even want to need to have an army, but we do. And we have another army, and that army is the spiritual army. And the Rebbe's army, the army of Chabad, is at the forefront of this army, what we would call the army of God, the army of the Rebbe. And Rabbi Tzvi Kogan went from being a member of the IDF and then joined the army of the Rebbe to bring the awareness of God to the world, his position being in Dubai. Our army is doing a heroic job, and they will continue. And every single one of us, wherever we may find ourselves in the world, have the opportunity to be a part of the spiritual army. And everyone has a duty to make sure that Rabbi Tzvi Kogan's death, his tragic, horrific, murderous death, is not in vain at all, but it awakens from the world and from every one of us a greater commitment to bring more of the light of God and the light of peace into the world. And we do that by each and every one of us ourselves committing ever stronger to our spiritual and divine values. The mission of the Jewish people is to be a light unto the nations. And the light unto the nations means that every single one of us is an expression of the divine, that we live our lives in alignment with the will of God. And so every single one of us is being called upon at this time to join together and have a spiritual response by asking ourselves, what mitzvah, what commandment from God, what guidance from God can we introduce into our lives in a greater fashion than we have until now? Whether it be putting up a mezuzah on our door, whether it be that we begin wearing tzitzit, whether it would be that we begin putting on tefillin, that we begin lighting Shabbat candles, that we start eating more of the foods that we purchase in the supermarket, we make sure it is kosher, that we study Torah every single day, the list goes on and on. I'd like to ask you to go to onemitzvah.org. That's ONEMITZVAH.org/Tzvi, TZVI, and commit on that website to doing a mitzvah in memory and in honor of Tzvi. And while we do everything we have to on the spiritual realm, as we are the spiritual army of God, I share with you the words of our Prime Minister, who vows, and no doubt that he will, with, of course, the help of the IDF, the Shin Bet and the Mossad, track down any individual anywhere in the world who chooses to be the embodiment of evil. We will eradicate them. Let's listen to his words.
בפתח דבריי אני רוצה להביע זעזוע עמוק בשמי, בשם כל חברי הממשלה, בשם אזרחי ישראל ובשם כל עם ישראל, מחטיפתו ורציחתו של צבי קוגן, זיכרונו לברכה, השם ייקום דמו. הרצח הזה בוצע באיחוד האמירויות, רצח של אזרח ישראלי ושליח חב"ד. זהו פיגוע טרור אנטישמי נפשע. אני שולח גם בשמכם תנחומים מעומק הלב למשפחת קוגן. מדינת ישראל תפעל בכל האמצעים ותמצא את הדין עם הרוצחים ושולחיהם. איש מהם לא ינקה. אני מאוד מעריך את שיתוף הפעולה עם איחוד האמירויות בחקירת הרצח. אנחנו נחזק את הקשרים בינינו, דווקא למול הניסיונות של ציר הרשע לפגוע ביחסי השלום בינינו. נחזק אותם ונפעל גם להרחיב את היציבות באזור.
Please go to onemitzvah.org. The link will be under this video, /Tzvi. Go to the link under this video and join this critical spiritual campaign to make this world a more godly place.